I'm Paolo Brescia from OBR. We are based here in Milan, but also in London. We are not specialized in anything because we believe that working with the others is much more interesting. So it's difficult to say what we do.
Can you tell us, in your opinion, what is the most important quality of architecture, of today's architecture? What you are pursuing in your work and what you admire in the work of the others?
Well, I think today we are living a very interesting moment, I think, because I think we are realizing, especially the young generation, that it's more about not an individual act, but more as a common task. In fact, I like to take part in this jury because I think that we have to recognize the projects that are more focused on the idea of the act of listening, I would say, in the sense that something which is against the idea of hedonistic or self-referential individual gesture, which I don't think is interesting today. But something who is focusing or converging to the idea of architecture has a more an evolutionary or a cooperative process, working with others.
So you mean listening to the client's needs, listening to the site, listening to the context, listening to the function?
Listening, but reinterpreting. So listening doesn't mean obey.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
But I think that if you listen, then you have the instruments to try to respond to what is the final need, which is not necessarily the client, but who is going to live there. I mean, I think that we need to focus on the power of architecture, in the sense that we can really try to create the sense of community, but also preserving the individual identities. Also trying to go beyond the opposition between public and private, or individual and society, more converging on the idea of architecture as a common good, which is also a social capital or psychological capital.
Yeah, this is about the influence of architecture in the environment, how it changes the environment, how it changes the life of the people, the residents. Do you think this is?
I think we have a great responsibility, but of course we don't change the world, but we can do something the moment we can create a coincidence between our idea of keeping everybody together, for example, and the real practice by the people to stay together. So we can do something.
How do you feel about the competitions, about the good and the bad sides of them, and also would you encourage the Bulgarian architects to participate in this competition for the Bulgarian Architectural Awards?
Well, I started with Tommaso OBR. We didn't have any client, and so our only way to have some food was also to take part in competition. So I believe in competition. That is our job. But first of all, I have to say that I believe in competition because I learn through competition, especially when we lose. So we learn from the others.
From the winners.
This doesn't mean that who wins is the best, but there is some reason. But I believe that today is a great way to learn through competition, because we understand that everything starts before, in the sense that from the brief there is already a strategy, especially in a public competition, and so I like this coincidence between public and private, or between the municipality and the architects, that can be very productive. Then competition means also take a big risk.
Yeah.
It's like a roulette, which means that when you lose, you need to duplicate it.
It is for the brave architects.
Yeah.
It is not for people who don't want to risk and who don't want to invest extra effort and time in something.
Yes.
So, would you recommend competitions in general? Would you say that it is a good university, a good school for everyone to improve themselves and hopefully to win, of course?
I think that competition is something different from books in the sense that you learn making. Mm-hmm. And so the best way for me to do research is a full competition. So it is an applied research. Then it doesn't matter if you win the first or the second, third, but it's something which gives you the experience to make an hybridation of experience that you will use in the next projects. In fact, if I show you what we have in the back, all the last competition.